YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back. Today I got my must-have players for Fantasy Football 21. Quite a few fantasy videos going to be on the way here. We got sleepers, some mock drafts, and more. Full NFL coverage here on the Goat House. We got weekly picks, score predictions, power rankings. Cannot wait for the season to start. Like, subscribe. We got you covered here. Follow our Twitter. Trying to reach 10K. That'll be big if we can get there by the season start. All kinds of content on there. Updates on NFL news, live tweeting during games. It's definitely a must follow. It also would help us out a ton. So link down below for that. Anything else you need. And here's our Twitter again, @GoatHouseNFL. But again, the links are down below. But this is an absolute must follow here if you're a Goat House or an NFL fan. All right, so for the must-have players, these are guys that just absolutely have to draft. Some honorable mentions, at the end in case you miss out on some guys. I don't like to include like the obvious top-tier guys. It's just too obvious to everyone in a video like this. But I do like to include one, and that's just the ultimate must-have guy. If I have the first pick, I'm taking this guy. If he slips to me second, third, whatever, I'm taking this guy. So that is why he's included. That's Alvin Kamara. So this is the number one guy on my board. You just don't want to. I put Kamara no matter what. Just don't overthink it. I know a lot of people put McCaffrey or someone else at the top. I'm not one to base everything off the previous year, but Kamara, just the way he dominated last season and elevated his game in terms of a receiver almost, in the passing game, it's hard not to take this guy and how he dominated. Jameis Winston coming in. They want to pass the ball more opportunities for Kamara. Unfortunately for the Saints, Michael Thomas is going to miss some time. To me, that's more in the lack of top receivers. That just means more reps, more action for Alvin Kamara. So, and there could be some weeks, since the Saints defense isn't as good, where it's not really, they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to go. They're gonna have to go for scores. They're gonna have to pass. Air it out a ton more. So I think Kamara will be involved. He already was involved enough last year, but just as much, if not more. I'm just not overthinking everything. McCaffrey with, he's not a guy I'm labeling injury concerns or injury prone, anything like that. But it scares me a little bit. Dalvin Cook has had some injury concerns. It seems like he's playing a little more and more every year. Fantastic runner, also can catch the ball in the backfield. I think Kamara is the safest bet, but it's just hard not to pick him based off last year and based on where the Saints team is going, utilizing him. So Kamara's my guy. But on to my must drafts that may not be the earliest picks, some of them maybe, but I'm going to go Aaron Jones here. I had Aaron Jones in one of my leagues last year, was phenomenal. To me, this is a safe pick, one of the safest picks in my opinion. It feels like he's getting better. It feels like he's getting better, more involved in the passing game. Here's a big thing, though. They lose Jamal Williams in free agency. Yes, they have A.J. Dillon. They believe in him. He can step up. But I still think Aaron Jones kind of gets a boost with reps in, action with the ball in his hands because losing Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams was a very solid runner. He was polished, could catch the ball out of the backfield as well. I think this means more reps for Aaron Jones. I don't know if they're all in on just giving A.J. Dillon that role already. Not too far off. He's their RB2. He's going to get some action. But Aaron Jones, to me, is just such a safe pick. I think they've been running the ball more and more, too. And Aaron Rodgers, throws a ton a game. But I think they're trying to save him a little bit for the distance, for the playoffs. And, they're going to air it out. But they want to establish the run is what they want to do to open up things in the passing game. So, again, I think extremely safe pick. Gets big points. Obviously, I loved having him on my team last year. So, for me, I'm kind of eliminating taking like the major risks. I kind of never was really one to if I feel like this guy's going to get hurt, I stayed away from him. But now I'm completely, in the back of my mind, if I'm about to draft like a running back, seems to be a one. If I think he's going to get hurt, I'm just not going to take him. And Aaron Jones to me is a safe bet. And he gets you big points. He's a big-time playmaker, big-time playmaker, big-time in terms of the production category, which matters here. So that's why I really do like Aaron Jones. Clyde EdwardsHelaire, he was high on my board last year for this and even higher this year because the Chiefs are making it a goal to run the ball more effectively. You see what they did to their offensive line. You see the style of blockers they brought in there. They're gearing more towards power running. They want to run the ball more. They want to get their young running back going even more like he was early last year where it was working. The offensive line kind of weared down, which was, wore down a little bit, which affected him quite a bit. So I think they're going to get back to running the ball, and that's going to really throw teams off and then allow Mahomes to air the ball deep, in those big moments. So that's actually what they want to do more of, the Chiefs, that is. So I like EdwardsHelaire. He's also fantastic catching the ball out of the backfield. He was, as polished as you can get coming out of LSU in terms of catching the ball, even lining up as a receiver. We didn't really see all that with the Chiefs. And, some people may think, well, he's not going to be able to do it in the NFL. That's not the case. I'm very confident on that. That's kind of just in their back pocket here for the Chiefs. And I think we're going to see more and more of that. So I do like Clyde EdwardsHelaire here for this season. Another second-year guy, Antonio Gibson. You guys know I love him as well. Really got going for Washington last year. He's growing as a runner because, remember, he was a receiver at Memphis. So he's getting better as a runner, but they also like him catching the ball out of the backfield and downfield. He fits this offense so perfectly. It's just, you need the guy that can be a power runner but also can catch the ball. It's such a rare type of player that's Gibson. It just works so good for the Scott Turner offense. And they're going to use him quite a bit. They added more receivers, specifically speed. You look at Curtis Samuel, who can stretch the field. You look at De'Ami Brown, he was this ultimate stretch the field, deep ball, speed receiver. And that's going to get things going for Gibson actually underneath. They're going to dump it off of him, a lot of slip screens. And he can run the ball with power and, gets in the end zone as well. So I love Antonio Gibson for those reasons as a guy that I just have to have. Another running back, Darryl Henderson. So Cam Akers was going to make his way on this list. I was predicting him to be a top 10 running back this year. The Rams brought in Stafford, ability to throw the ball downfield a little more, but that's what they're going to do. Unlike before, they're going to stretch the defense. The teams are going to be fearing the deep ball. They were going to be able to run the ball underneath. Cam Akers really got going at the end of last year, so I was going to love him. Obviously, it was unfortunate he got hurt, but I like Darryl Henderson out of Memphis. I just realized we got back-to-back Memphis guys here who are now running backs. But I love Darryl Henderson out of Memphis here. A few years ago, he's a very solid runner. Cam Akers just happened to be a little better. But they want to run the ball. They want to run the ball. They want to get the ball carrier outside as well. They're going to dump it off to him because that defense will be stretched out. Because of Stafford and the speed receivers they have. So, and really not much competition for Henderson at the moment. Keep an eye on them potentially signing a free agent. As of now, it doesn't sound like they will, but I'm not going to, because based on the way the coaching staff, McVay was talking, but I'm not fully trusting that. But it really feels like Darryl Henderson's just the guy. And I would have liked him a lot more last year if they didn't draft Akers, But now it's just Henderson's kind of the guy there. So they are going to run the ball better because defenses fear the passing game, specifically downfield. It opens things up. It's harder to run against a stacked box, which there was more of before, rather than what it looks like now. So I do like Henderson. He has that home run ability too. If he hits that lane, and again, there's less stack in the box with Stafford there, it's easier to have that lane. So I do like Henderson here. Some receivers, I love CeeDee Lamb. He was my number one receiver in that class last year. He was looking like he was going to have a monster season, similar to what Justin Jefferson had. With Dak Prescott, he obviously got hurt. Dak is back, so that's fantastic. Hopefully he stays healthy. But even without Dak, CeeDee was still fantastic. He's just a do-it-all receiver. That's why I feel so safe taking a guy like this, because when you put him in the slot, there was really no one pressing him. It's just so easy for him to get open on the fly, in the snap of a finger there and catch the ball. We know how good he is after the catch. You can put him outside. We know how good he is in the red zone, contested catch, spectacular catch ability we see. He's already looking fantastic in practice. This was the number one receiver on my board pre-draft a year ago for a reason. This guy's going to be insane. So it's going to get going now too. To me, it's an absolutely safe pick. You do worry. If Dak stays healthy, you get a lot more production for not just CeeDee Lamb, everyone. But it's still, even without Dak, it's still a guy that's just so easy to get the ball to that he's going to get the production. So I love me some CeeDee Lamb for this year. Absolutely love me some CeeDee Lamb. Calvin Ridley here. And I guess it depends. This could be a very early pick in some leagues. I can see some leagues having him pretty damn early. But then there's some that maybe he slips through second round somewhere later in that part. I think he kind of could be he's well known as a top tier fantasy receiver target, but he kind of a rangy one if you catch what I'm saying there. But Julio Jones gone, that leaves a lot of production to Ridley. But and they do have Kyle Pitts. They're going to spread the ball out to him as well. But that just opens things up for Ridley because teams are going to be, wondering where he's going to go. Where is he aligning? Where is he going? And Ridley, the improvement he made last year was ridiculous. A top-tier fantasy receiver. I'm not in love with their receiver depth either, so no one's really threatening to take away reps, really. Not that was a threat anyways, but it just makes you feel a little safer there. But mainly what stands out is, when he first came in, it was like, is this guy going to live up to that Ridley hype, And then all of a sudden, we see it coming. He hit it last year. Could he improve that much again? Pretty ridiculous to think about. So improvement, progression is the reason I like Ridley. Julio being gone definitely helps there. Definitely helps. Next, another receiver, a rookie here, JaMarr Chase with the Bengals with his old quarterback, Joe Burrow from LSU. Obviously, they had quite the connection. There was one of the best receiver prospects I've ever seen just based off that year alone with Joe Burrow. So that definitely helps. Bengals want to pass the crap out of the ball. We're going to see some spread looks. I think secondaries are going to have their hands full with these guys. Chase is a guy you kind of get the ball to in any way, but even if he is covered, he's gonna make those grabs as well. So I think he'll be a touchdown machine. Will be good in the red zone. Will be good on the deep ball. Joe Burrow definitely trusts him, so they already have that connection. So I like Chase, but the Bengals are going to air it out. We'll see some spread looks. That's a good sign. Defense probably give up some points. So this could be a high-powered offensive team that's just kind of playing keep up or keep the lead type thing. That's where JaMarr Chase comes in with his big playability and his production. So, I like JaMarr Chase. I like Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd was kind of featured on this list last year because he kind of was that Justin Jefferson-style player for Joe Burrow. Now you have that JaMarr Chase-style player in JaMarr Chase. Could that mean more production for that Boyd-style player? It could. So I do like Boyd still as well. They have T. Higgins. That's the thing. They got to spread the ball out so much, but that's what they do. That's what they're going to do. They're going to spread the ball out a lot, to get to all those guys. I like Brandon Aiyuk. Here's a second-year player, 49ers. Had a fantastic rookie year, really caught fire, got going. They loved him. Shanahan pre-draft, or right when they drafted him, kind of raved about him. He just fits his offense. But I look at the rest of the unit. Love me some Deebo Samuel, but can he stay healthy? He's kind of the underneath, get the ball in the backfield sometimes guy. And that kind of just leaves who's kind of the pure receiver. It really just leaves Aiyuk. They're looking a little thin in terms of the actual receiver position. So that leaves up a lot of production. Aiyuk, you also factor in Deebo. Do they limit him because he's kind of proven he gets hurt? And he could get hurt, unfortunately. But all of that just points towards Aiyuk getting his reps, really getting his action. And again, they're a little thin on the depth. They don't have Kendrick Bourne anymore, who I thought was a solid receiver for them. So Aiyuk, second year, big piece of the Shanahan. It's a young offense now, gearing towards that. They're going to get him going. They're going to give him the ball any way they can. He's mainly effective sideline, intermediate to deep. But I think they get him going over the middle of the field a lot more, underneath routes too. Very solid after the catch. So I really like him here as kind of a sleeper must-have option in a way. Next up, some tight ends. Kyle Pitts, another Falcon. I have to have Kyle Pitts here because I know people are a little worried about tight ends. They never work out. They're always underwhelming right away. We've never seen a Kyle Pitts, and he's in terms of just the tight end position, but a receiver as well. He's literally taking over for Julio Jones and playing a tight end role, whether it's inline, move tight end, which will be in the slot, or X receiver. He does it all, and they're able to move on from a guy like Julio Jones because of Kyle Pitts. And, in this new scheme with Arthur Smith, they're going to feature that freaky tight end quite a bit, and they have maybe the freakiest tight end in all the football here in Pitts. So he'll be productive for sure. You can't compare him to the old tight ends. What's happened to the tight ends from the past, at all. So I think he's a safe pick. And, a lot of people will disagree. I think he's a safe pick. It's just the guy that I really have to have because he's going to do crazy things. I mean, he might already be one of the best jump ball, red zone options in football too, and that's big time, obviously, in this category. Another tight end. I love me some Logan Thomas here. Washington. We got another Washington football player here. Just got his contract extension. That's big time. They love him. They love the fit there. But you look at last year, third in terms of fantasy tight ends last year, and then really just a breakout year because this is a former quarterback, moved to tight end, and then finally found his home, really found a fit. And I think he's just getting going. This is not going to last for, 10 more years, but I think he's just getting going in that, prime play. Last year was just the start of it. And again, he was third in terms of the fantasy tight ends there. So I like him a lot. I think it's a safe pick. They find ways to give him the ball. They find unique plays, ways to involve him, obviously. So, I think, again, like I said, I think they're going to get Gibson going underneath quite a bit. They're trying to stretch the field with the receivers. They're going to get Gibson going underneath. They'll probably have Logan Thomas involved in those style of plays as well. So you have multiple options underneath, and teams got to pick, who we got to focus on. We'll try to focus on both. So I think Thomas is a pretty safe pick, actually. And then we look at some guys that are kind of, it wouldn't really make sense to have a long list of must-have guys, but you're not going to be able to draft every single one of these guys. So the guys that are kind of next up that I do really like, Austin Ekeler. We talk about those players that, their teams stretch the field and it benefits them. Austin Ekeler is another one because Herbert can really air the ball out. They got a bunch of receivers that fit the deep ball mentality there of Justin Herbert, and that will open things up underneath for Austin Ekeler in the passing game. So that idea makes me love Austin Ekeler. So much production. But why he's kind of a borderline guy is because you do worry about the health. They do have a number of running backs now. Is that really what they want to do? It's a new staff. Do they want to, are they going to kind of mess up what was working for them last year? So there are some more questions where it's like, I really like the idea of this. I really love it. I really love this, player for fantasy, but kind of got to back off a little bit. But again, still love him here for this year. Mike Davis, the Falcons, not the most appealing running back, not one of the better ones in football. But I had him last year, and he was fantastic. That was on the Panthers, but he goes to the Falcons. Arthur Smith running that offense, and he ran it with Tennessee and Derrick Henry, and it's pound the football first to open up the pass. So having a powerful running back like Mike Davis helps. He's going to get his carries. Especially in the red zone, he's going to get his carries. So can he be as effective as what he was in Carolina as well? Javonte Williams might not look that appealing because they have Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon's a fantastic running back. This is one where I just got a feeling here because I love Javonte Williams pre-draft. He's my number one running back. I thought, one of the better prospects we've seen in a bit. I think he fits what the Broncos are trying to do, their scheme. I think he's going to take off. It may not be right away. It is a little risky, so it's not like I'm dying to have him, but it's just, and it's worked out for me in the past, my feelings on running backs like this. So it's a guy that I want. It's just tough to figure out where you draft him. Terry McLaurin, he's ahead of schedule on where he's supposed to be in terms of his talent, his production. So now he adds Ryan Fitzpatrick. To me, McLaurin seems like it's a safe bet with Fitzpatrick. A do-it-all receiver that Fitzpatrick could love here, get the ball to. He does have other options. Curtis Samuel now they improved that receiver unit. You have Logan Thomas, Antonio Gibson throw the ball for. So and there are times where McLaurin, random times where it kind of disappear a little bit and wasn't really his fault, kind of the quarterback play. So that's why he does scare me a little bit, but he's still getting better. I like Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman's another young player that's kind of ahead of schedule. Wasn't supposed to be where he was last year, mainly in the style of plays they were getting him the ball. This guy was at USC just kind of a go or a comeback guy on the outside. They were getting him screen passes. They were giving him quick slants, and he was fantastic after the catch. And that was right off the bat. So that's a great sign. They're not afraid to give him the ball anyway. T.Y. Hilton's back, but they don't go all out with him. They want him to stay healthy. They got a bunch of depth receivers. It seems like Pittman solidifies himself at the top. They're going to get him the ball in different ways. He was kind of a featured piece, especially down the stretch in any way possible there for that offense. That's rookie year. So that's why I like Pittman there. Darnell Mooney should be locked in at the Bears' number 2 receiver spot after Allen Robinson. Focus could be on Robinson. Opens things up for Mooney. Mooney is a very solid route runner. He's going to get open. I guess what plays a part is who the quarterback is, but either way, he's going to get open here. I guess the one thing, the Bears are going to come out just pounding the football. They're going to run the ball a lot. So is it going to give the receivers that much? That's why it scares me a little bit, but Mooney could be he can be a dangerous player. Like there's going to be weeks where he gets a lot more production than Allen Robinson, believe it or not. Elijah Moore, another one of my draft crushes for this year. I love the idea of him with Zach Wilson. This guy should have went in the first round. It's one of the best route runners in the class. One of those guys that's just going to get open and it's easy. Just play and catch, get him the ball, and he's insane after the catch as well. So it feels like a safe fantasy receiver in that category. The scary thing is they have Corey Davis, they have Jamison Crowder, they have Keelan Cole, Denzel Mims. That's a scary thing. I'm trusting it that they'll see this because he's such a great fit, and it's going to make Zach Wilson and company, the offense, a lot better. Noah Fant, I think he's out of schedule too. He's kind of a raw tight end prospect, but we knew he's athletic, a very good receiver. But he's really getting going. Just get him the ball. The only problem is he has, some minor injuries pop up, but the long list of receivers the Broncos have. But they're going to have, they want to run the ball first. Usually those teams that want to run the ball first, they make sure they get the ball to their tight ends as well, play action game, more than that. But so they'll get the ball to Fant. They were last year, so I do like him. Jonnu Smith now at the Patriots. They got a plan for him. It's a unique tight end. They got a huge plan. The idea of that, the different ways that I have in my mind that they're gonna get him the ball, the different ways, how they're gonna use him. They got a big time plan. They went out there and got this guy first. They got him right away. So that makes you want to, I gotta have this guy. But got to split with Hunter Henry. They also added to the other receiver. They added more receivers, the receiver unit. They got a long list of running backs too. And Jonnu Smith, again, is a unique player. They can use it kind of in the backfield, almost like a wing back, H-back in a way, and as a tight end. So they got a plan. It's going to be fun. It just some weeks they probably won't show it. That's kind of what I worry a little bit about. It'll be used in certain weeks, but they paid him a lot of money. And I like Taysom Hill. There's some leagues that were he was only listed as quarterback because he was a quarterback, but there was some leagues you're able to put him in the flex. So to me, this is a guy this year he's going to be a weapon. He's going to be a weapon. I think Jameis Winston starting. You see Michael Thomas go down for a few weeks. They're thin at the receiver position. Taysom Hill is going to be used. They got some unknowns at the tight end position as well, kind of banking on guys like Trotman stepping up. That what they know is Taysom Hill can play. They get him the ball in any way. They can come up with unique plays using him. So I'm hoping he could be used as a flex option, obviously, or we'll see what he's actually listed at. But to me, this is kind of a guy I want to have because of that. Because they don't, Kamara, and there's going to be weeks where it's Kamara and Hill probably getting the most targets. I know they have Quan Smith and Marquez Callaway who they like, but I think it's going to be a unique offense. They're going to get very creative. They're going to get the ball to Taysom Hill. They're going to get him the ball. And I really do think Jameis Winston started at quarterback, so they're going to throw the ball a little more. They didn't want to have Drew Brees throwing the ball a million times a game at his age. They're not afraid to air it out here. So I do like Taysom Hill there. It's a sneaky one. So those are my players I kind of have in the category of must-have. We'll talk more. We'll have some rankings, mock drafts, maybe some more sleepers there as well. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments, your must-have players for this year. We're always talking on Twitter. We'll answer fantasy questions throughout the year on Twitter as well, start, sit. So join us there. Join us here on the channel. Like, subscribe, be much appreciated. But that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.